Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're talking about the exponential of Bayes' law. Now this is the sixth law in this series. So the previous the previous video, we talked about the exponential law. Now where we talked about, if you looked at the previous video, we have something like log of ax to the power of n. And we agree that in order to solve this, you bring the n down. So it's going to be n log x to base a, all right? So now, but in this video now, what we want to talk about is that how do you now solve questions like we have the log of a to the power of n and logarithm of a value x now, and how do you solve this, okay? So before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. Now, this law is basically similar to the law 5, but in this case, instead of the logarithm value having the exponent, here the base value has the exponent, okay? So in this rule, the logarithm of x with a base having an exponent n is equal to the inverse of the exponent multiplied by its logarithm. Because I know some of you do take notes, I'm going to write it down on the board here. So we have in this rule, the logarithm of x with a base having an exponent, or you can call it exponent, or you can call it power, all right? So depending on what you want to call it, is equal to the inverse of the exponent multiplied by its logarithm. Okay? So the key word I want you to remember here is the inverse. So it's the inverse of the exponent multiplied by this logarithm. Now, there are three rules or three steps on how to solve this. The first thing you do is that you have to rewrite the question by writing the inverse of the base exponent in front. So you have to then rewrite the question by writing the inverse of the base exponent in front. So after writing the inverse of the base exponent, the next step is that you then have to multiply the inverse of the base exponent and the logarithm of the base. So you then have to then multiply the inverse of the base exponent and the logarithm to its base. Then after that, the third step you do is then you then simplify. So basically what I'm saying is that if, for instance, you have log a base a to nx, what you do, the exponent here is n, the inverse of that is 1 over n multiplied by log of x to base a. Then this is now going to give you 1 over n log x to base a, all right? Now, you can also apply this if you have the log to base e or lean. So if, for instance, you have log of exponent of nx, this is the same thing as saying the inverse of this is 1 over n multiplied by log to base ex. And remember in the previous video, we talked about that the log to base e is the same thing as lean. So it's going to be 1 over n times ln x, and which is going to give us 1 over n ln x. And that is the what? The law for this. Okay? All right, so let's pick some examples now to solidify the concept with length now. So we have, let's pick this example here. So number 1, we have log of a to the power of 2, 5. So log of 5 to the base of a to the power of 2. So the same thing, you're going to find the inverse of this, and that'll be 1 over 2 multiplied by log of a, 5, and that will give you 1 over 2 log 5 to base a. And that will be the answer for that. So let's see if we can combine law 5 and law 6. So that means the exponent law and the exponent of base law. So let's look at this question, for instance. We have log of 4 to base 9. All right. So going back as well, in the previous video, we talked about that for this, when the exponent is with the logarithm value there, you just bring the end value here. But if it's with the base, we've agreed already that it's going to be the inverse of this, then log of x to base a. So let's go back now. So we can break down 4, and 4 is going to give us 9 to raise to the power 2. So we can bring down this 2 down, and that will give us 2 log 2 to base what? 9. So now we've gotten that. So we can still break down the base here. So we can break down 9 to 3 raised to the power 2. So this is the same thing as saying 2 log 3 raised to the power 2, 2. Now this 2, we apply the law that when you have anything, it's going to be the inverse. So let's go there. So it's going to be the inverse. It's going to be 1 over 2 multiplied by 2 log, because this 2 now is a 1 over 2. So log 3, 2. Half times 2 will give you 1. So that will give you log 2 to base what? 3. And that will be the answer for that. So number 3, we can play around with, let's say we have log of exponent to power of 3, 5. Okay? So the same thing. This 3 is going to be 1 over 3 log exponent and 5. So that is log 5 to base e. Log 5 to base e is the same thing as what? Ln is going to give us 1 over 3 ln 5. Okay? So you can pick another one. So when we have log 25 to base 5. Sorry, log 5 to base 25. Now we can break down 25 to be log 5 to power of 2 and 5. Now find the inverse of this is going to give us 1 over 2 multiplied by log 5 to base what? 5. And we'll talk about this rule very soon. Okay, it's one of the rules down the series, but basically when the logarithm value and the base are the same, is equal to 1. So that will give us what? 1 over 2 times 1, and that will give you what? 1 over 2. Okay, and that is that for that. Okay, and that will bring us to the end for this law with the logarithm of exponential of base law. So what do? When you have the exponent to the base, it's going to be the inverse of the exponent multiplied by the logarithm. While in the previous video, if the exponent is with the logarithm value there, you just bring the end value down and you just multiply that, and that will give you the answer. So the next one, the next law, which is the 7th law, we're going to talk about will be the logarithm of 1 and how do you find it. So basically, what we want to find out is that if, for instance, you have log 10 to base 1, what is going to be the answer for this? Or you have log 5 to base 1, what is going to be, sorry, log 1 to base 5, what is going to be the answer for that? So that's the logarithm of one law, and we're going to talk about that in the next video. So it's very important that you do subscribe so that when I post the new video, you'll be the first person to know. So I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.